for doing this.
You're very welcome.
First off, congratulations on your win. The 18-3-1.
Yes.
That is an impressive record now, even at pro level.
Yes, I'm slowly moving through the ranks, getting experience, and it's been a few years now. It was just another day at the office. Just this time around, it was a special one.
So now that you've had a couple of days, a day to digest the fight, you must have gone through it with your team. How did the fight go? Before we get into your story, how did you reflect on the fight?
Just another day at the office. Obviously, these guys are tough. They're durable. They come there to survive. I went through the gears. My coach was trying to, keep me on the leash a little bit longer because I haven't fought since November.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to get the rounds in, And, at the end of the day, 8 rounds in the bag. I almost stopped him in that last round. He was holding on. But listen, it was a great night. It was a special experience. My parents were there. My friends were there. My school teachers were there. It was amazing, man.
I can imagine. Anything you digested has jumped off at you already, thinking, oh, maybe here, maybe there, or you still haven't got to?
Just if I would have put it on him
Yeah.
sooner, which I could have, but my coach was telling me, just relax. I know I would have stopped him. Otherwise, it was just another day in the office, man. These fights, you don't look into them too much because, let's be honest, if I'm struggling against a guy like that, I better lose any hope of doing anything in boxing, No disrespect, it's just how the game is. It's how the game is.
There's levels.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's get into your story. We've got to go straight into your intro. So you are one of Gibraltar's most experienced professional boxers with a record now of 18-3-1. You have fought around the world, experienced the highs of victories, and obviously the lows that every fighter faces. And we'll get onto that as well, because I think Floyd Mayweather has the one that created that problem of having the zero. But anyway, and has represented Gibraltar, Morocco on some of boxing's biggest stages. But this conversation isn't just about boxing. It's about the resilience, sacrifice, identity, and what it really takes to dedicate your life to one of the toughest sports on earth. So like I said, Tarik, at the very beginning, thank you so much, and welcome to Across the Table. We've just discussed now the fight, obviously, the recent one, but I wanted to get into where we all began. So how did you first get into boxing?
That's crazy, man. So as you know, obviously I was born and bred here, and as you know, back in the day, there was a little gang of, Moroccan kids on the streets, and who were a nuisance. We caused a lot of trouble, and I got into a lot of fights in the streets, in school, up in Sacred Heart, then in Bayside, and I was a skinny little boy, and most of the time I got beat up on the street, man. So one day, I must have been 12, maybe 13. I just thought, man, if I'm going to be fighting on the street all this much, I should learn how to become better at it,
Yeah.
So I decided to go up to Ernest Victory's gym, which, as you know, was the only boxing gym in Gibraltar back then. And we went up, and it turned out that I was pretty good, man. Yeah, and I had a few fights in Gibraltar as an amateur, as you know, in Victoria Stadium. And then when I went for uni in the UK, and I went and joined the gym there, that's when things really kicked off, because I was fighting all the time, 2-3 times a month. And then, I amassed something close to 70 or 80 fights, I don't quite remember. And yeah, man, that was it, really. I ended up being good at it. I didn't really ever think much of doing it as a career.
Okay.
Until I finished my degree, and then, it was always in my head. And yeah, that's how I pretty much got into boxing, man.
But how was the first training session like when you walked into the gym on a Neto again? Neto era
old school.
Old school.
Well, look, I promise you, the first day I sparred, I remember I sparred one kid, and when he come to punch me, I turned around and hid in the corner. Man, I was a kid in it.
Yeah.
And everyone was laughing at me, but I stuck with it.
Yeah.
And then I remember starting to spar Tyron, who was also a professional now, and seeing how good he was. And all the gang of us went up to the gym at that point, and there was too much competition then. So I was never going to give up, It was tough, man, and Ernest is old school, and a lot of sparring wars, and I don't know, man, it was amazing. It was a great, great time of my childhood, man, looking back at that gym.
Okay, man, I can't bail at him, I can even see his face.
The bus, the bus, the number 2 bus, we'd all be on it, man, all the boys after school, the training was at 7, so at 5:30, 6 o'clock, the bus would be full of all of us, we'd go up there.
And he wouldn't mess around because he would be like, "Are you gonna fight? I'll train you and I'll spend my time on you. If you're not going to, I'm not wasting my time with you."
Absolutely, he was a serious guy. Yes,
Yeah.
and one other funny fact is, we were all Mohammed. All the Moroccans were Mohammed, did it? So when he'd shout Mohammed sparring,
Everyone-
we'd all look around. Which Mohammed, you know? And man, they were golden days, man. I wish more of my friends followed through because there was a lot of talent at that time. A lot of us had
The
a lot of
hunger as
talent.
well.
Yeah, man. You know, and it kept us off the streets. It kept us off committing petty crimes, you know, in and around Gibraltar, man. It was a great time, and I owe a lot to that guy because if it wasn't for him
Who knows? Yeah.
opening the doors for me to that gym, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, man.
Yeah. So you've touched on it, but what point did you realize it was more than a hobby then, boxing? Was it in uni? Yeah, from there.
Yes, so I finished my studies and I went for like a little backpacking trip, you know, Southeast Asia, you know, where everyone goes. And I had, you know, backpacked a few different countries, and then I was thinking, every country I'd go, I'd try and find a boxing gym to train. You know, I would always go about and say, "Yo, where's the boxing gym?" I'd go on the maps. "Where's the boxing gym? Where's the boxing gym?" And then one day, man, I just felt like, you know, this is a dream I see myself having, you know, being a world champion, fighting, and I enjoyed it, man. I loved the process, the training, the sparring, the hitting the bag. I loved it, you know. When I did it, I wasn't just doing it for the sake of working out. I did it because I actually enjoyed doing it, you know. And this might sound odd to people listening, but when I go in there and fight, I enjoy that. I really enjoy, I don't know, punching someone else. It sounds crazy, I know, but I can't put it into words. I just enjoy being in the fights. There's no other way to put it other than I enjoy being in the fights. And I decided to take it up, and as you know, I moved to Mexico, and the rest is history, man.
That's what I say. What about boxing that keeps you coming back? But you've touched on it. You just enjoy, but it's like any sport, like football, tennis, hockey, whichever, contact, MMA. If it's not a job and you love it, then it's that much easier than to do.
I wasn't forced into doing it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I'm an educated guy, man. I went to uni, I have a master's degree. I chose it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like I was a kid from the streets. I was a kid from the streets, but, you know, I studied, I did well in school, but
This was calling you all the time.
Yes, this was something it was a pattern that I observed across my life of like, okay, I have some savings, I can travel, I can work, but I'm still boxing. You know, it was the only recurring pattern throughout the years. When I was at uni, I was studying, but I was also boxing.
Yeah.
When I was doing my master's, I was studying, but I was also boxing. When I was backpacking, I was enjoying, but I was also boxing. You know, and then it was the recurring pattern, man, and that's how I knew it was my calling. You know, and that's pretty much how I would summarize why I chose it.
And we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna let the people know that are watching why you loved it, but how hard it is to easily say, like you said, you're an educated guy, you got your masters, that you could have easily said, "Me voy." So like, describe a normal training week for the casuals out there. We're gonna get now into the nitty gritty, so people can really understand. I enjoy boxing. I know boxing to a certain level. You're the pro. So there's few questions I want to get into, but describe a normal training week.
That's a great question because a lot of people, they look at boxing, they see the fame, they see the spotlights, and they think,
the ring entrance, the
love
this,
it,
that, and then I could do that.
Toughest, most brutal sport in the world, man.
Yeah, easy.
And a standard training week, it all depends at what level you're at, you know. But I'm going to give you a standard routine that every professional should tick in terms of if you want to do anything as a pro boxer, you know. So twice a day is standard norm. And your week needs to be broken into 3 different segments. You need to do your cardio. That could be your running, swimming, sprints, assault bike. Then you need to do your boxing, which is your sparring, your pads, your punch bag. And then you need to do your strength and conditioning, which is your weights, your calisthenics, whatever it is, explosive work. So usually you do 3 cardio sessions a week, 2 to 3 strength and conditioning sessions a week, and every day boxing. The only rest day you normally have is on a Sunday.
Okay.
And on a Saturday, usually you train in the morning, and then you rest throughout the day, and then you rest on Sunday, and then you do Monday. That's the standard norm that every boxer usually does. However, there's a lot of different variations depending, firstly, at what level you're at in your career, and secondly, where you're at as well. Because every country does things a little bit different. Some countries focus more on the boxing side of things. Some countries focus more on the fitness side of things. Some countries focus more on the strength and conditioning side of things. So that's technically how you would break it down.
So, since you said that one, so what would be the difference between Mexico, what they focus on, and UK then?
Great question. Fantastic question. Because obviously I lived both of them, no? So Mexico, they focus a lot more on boxing than any country that I've trained at, to be honest with you.
Imagine.
You know, they boxing, like they train 2.5 hours purely boxing. They go at a slower pace, but over a longer period, yeah. So they'll do like a total of, I don't know, 30 rounds of boxing, which is a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
But they break it out. They punch bag, pads, end-to-end bag, speed bag, shadow boxing, skipping, footwork stuff, you know, so they do it. And then they're running and cardio, they don't invest too much in that. They do something called a trote, which is like a slow run for like 1.5 to 2 hours. I'm talking slow.
That's like the military tab that we used to call
slow,
it.
yeah. They work. I like to use the analogy of the diesel engines. They go on cruise control, and they go. Yeah. Where in England it's more intense. You know, England they focus more on like intensity, and they do a lot more strength and conditioning. They invest heavily on that. You know, there's a lot of famous strength and conditioning coaches out of the UK. So, look, both of them have their strengths and weaknesses. You know, I couldn't sit down here and tell you I rather one over the other. It all depends on the individual.
Yeah, your style, no?
Yes, you know. So for me, when I was in Mexico, it was kind of a fast track learning on the job because I did so much boxing that I made up for so many years of staying behind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like so much sparring. You know, in England they mainly spar 2 times a week. Mexico, 3 times a week, every week.
Wow.
If you're doing a 10-week camp, every week, 3 times a week sparring. And there's guys that spar every day.
Yeah.
You know, so again, they're very boxing focused. Where England, they care more about your health in a way. You know, they watch how much shots you take. They watch how, like, they manage what weight you are, what you're eating. Make sure they don't care. It's like, okay, this is what you're doing, and that's it. And then you see, Mexico has a lot of champions.
Yeah, they produce a lot of great fighters. Yeah.
Exactly, you know. So differences in culture and in country and in ways of doing things is reflected in the training. And again, I couldn't sit and tell you one is better than the other. They both have their strengths and weaknesses.
No, it wasn't about which one was better. It was just to see and show the people the difference between them. So I imagine weight cut is different as well.
Completely different. You know, to summarize it, you know, so people can understand it in a summarized version. Mexican boxing training is boxing focused, and they don't look too much into the detail of, you know, what are you weighing 6 weeks before your fights? What are you weighing? What are you eating? It's more just you need to do the work, and if you do the work, everything's going to be fine. England is more scientific in terms of they pay more attention to the detail, and they focus a bit more on the strength and conditioning and the cardio, and they look out for your health just a little bit more. So they watch what you eat, see how you feel, and stuff like that, you know. And what was the question you just asked me?
About the weight cutting.
The weight cutting, yeah. So in Mexico, they're very old school in terms of like, you put on a sauna suit, they close all the windows in the gym, they put the heating on, and you train away and you sweat away the pounds. In England, they make you focus more on your diets. 4 to 6 weeks before, you slowly start cutting the pounds. Because again, in England, they want you arriving at the fights on your peak, meaning your best physical condition.
But that's what I was going to ask you, Tarik, because famously, Chris Eubank Jr. and all the videos he put, I think the first time really that the public got to see that crazy man. His dad was against it. Obviously, he became very public against it. But my question to you, and this is not here, but my question to you was, why don't we do the weight cutting, all that hard work? Because you could see it in the fight, he was drained.
Oh, yeah.
Because he took the toll that his body took before that fight was enormous. Why don't you guys do that at the beginning of the training camp? So, like, we signed for a fight, 75 kilos. blah, blah. Why don't you do the cutting to 75 in that moment and then maintain and condition yourself to the fight? ¿Por qué no?
It's so funny you asked me this because as a boxing guy, I can clearly see people really don't understand.
Yeah.
You can't just weight cut in the beginning of your camp.
Okay.
Why? You need the fuel. Training twice a day, man. It's intense. Especially these guys, they're probably doing 2 to 3 times. You need the fuel for your body. These people are eating 5,000 calories minimum a day. You can't be cutting weight in the beginning of the camp. Cutting weight begins at worst 2 weeks before the fights, because all throughout the camp you're going to need the fuel. Strength and conditioning is not easy, man. Cardio is not easy. Sparring is not easy. You need to fuel your body. 5 to 7,000. You can even watch famously David Hay used to talk about how much he used to have 10,000 calories plus a day in his camp. So you can't go around and say, oh, why don't you start cutting when you need 10,000 calories to fuel your training? You know how hard it is, man. Your body's aching. You don't want to talk. You don't want. That's why when it's fight camp, people go away from their family. You can't be around your kid playing, doing.
You need to be
focused on eating, training, recovering, sleeping, and resting. It's so regimented. It's impossible to cut weights. And back to the Chris Eubank, actually the British Boxing Board of Control, they don't allow you to use the sauna suits to lose weight. But secretly, everyone does it anyway. They don't allow you to jump into an actual sauna to sweat off the few pounds. But look, I can tell you right now, mate, 95 out of 100 boxers use a sauna or a sauna suit to lose weight. Because otherwise,
no other way, is there?
Otherwise, you're going to be too small at the weights and you're going to get bullied in the ring. I've had my losses were all outside of my weight division. The first 2 guys I lost against, they put on 20 plus pounds in 24 hours after I fought them. That's one of them put almost 12 kilos, the other one close to 10 kilos. People think that's crazy, but there's ways you can manipulate your body to lose water weight, and you get to the weigh-in looking like a skeleton, skinny, with
just
no
dry
liquid, dry body. And then when you rehydrate, you're a fucking beast. Sorry for my own.
No.
You're an absolute beast. And that has an effect in the ring. You're a lot stronger than your opponent. And this is why weight cutting, there's a lot of political thing about it, especially in UFC, because these guys cut like 30, 40 pounds.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's part of the game. This is why we have to suffer and make weights, because otherwise you're going to suffer in the ring against the bigger guy. And I tell you from experience, I'd rather suffer in fight week where I'm dying and starving and, counting how many lettuce leaves I'm having than get in the ring against a bigger guy who can give me brain damage. I've had it. I've had the experience. Even my last fight, my last loss, which is political in itself, the guy was just so big and strong, man. It was crazy, man.
How does it feel in the ring when can you notice straight away
absolutely.
that you're punching and he's like...
They can take it better. Their resistance is way higher because they're bigger and stronger. And their body weight, when they get close to you, they're physically...
moving you about,
They move you about. They throw you about like a rag doll, And that has an effect. Look, you can see that on heavyweights like Tyson Fury and these guys. They tend to use their body weight
to lean on.
To tire you out, man. And from watching other fight sports like the UFC, you'll know that when it gets physical, you get tired quick. So when you have a boxer who's heavy laying on you like that, and you're trying to fight him off, you zap a lot of energy doing that, man. You know what I mean? So that's why weight is very important when it comes to boxing.
But I was thinking, like I said, because I'm not a pro and not into it, it's crazy when you think like, just because of my army background, you would have dropped the weight, then conditioned yourself, and then maybe get to fight night peak. But obviously, like you're saying, there's so much demand on the body.
It's impossible,
it would be
man.
really dangerous.
Mate, there's videos, you've seen people passing out at weigh-ins. But look, again, you need to choose your poison. Are you going to do a camp where you're
don't sign for the fight then at that weight?
At that weight, like Chris Eubank. But sometimes the money's too good, you can't say no. You already know how it is.
Everyone has
a
their
tricky
price.
business, man. Like you need to, in boxing, you need to choose your poison. Right, let's use the example you just said. Am I going to go through an 8 to 10 week camp, underfueled, underperforming in sparring and training, just so I can make the weight comfortably and get to a fight at a lesser ability? Or am I going to just do my camp at full blast, fully fueled, and then suffer for the last 2 weeks to make weights? You got to choose your poison, bro. You cannot. It's not sunshine and rainbows. It's a tough, brutal game, and people don't realize when they start moving up the levels.
So when we see fight night, we're going to carry on with that. Though, what don't the public see? So they see a fight night, they see you come out, they think you are tip-top condition. Because I know the guy said this fight night, he's had 4 days off before the fight night. But what don't they see in the background? You must be carrying injuries, you must have little niggles here and there, but you've got to put on the show, and you've got to your mentality as well has to
be on points.
So what don't the public see
That's
then?
That's a fantastic question, man. That's a fantastic, fantastic question. And, you know, no fighter is 100% on fight nights. Nobody. Don't ever let anyone lie to you. And if they're saying it publicly, continuously, it's because they have an issue that they're trying to hide. You know, no fighter is 100%. The camp can always be better. This is just standard norm of boxing. You can always do something better, and there's always going to be a little injury, a little something hurting, you know, that you happened to have in camp, and you just need to deal with it, man. Look, as experience goes on, as your career goes on, you learn how to deal with these things better. But in the beginning of your career, you start overthinking these little moments of, oh my God, my elbow hurts. Yo, what if he hits me and I can't use my left arm? You're going to have to use your right arm. You know, everyone never gets to the fight 100%. Now, to answer your question, what do people not see? What people don't see is the blood, sweat, and tears that you put on in a fight camp, the dieting, the suffering, the making weights, and then having to go out and perform. But this is where I differ personally. I love what I do, man. So, blood, sweat, and tears, I enjoy it, bro. For me,
bring it on.
It's my dream. It's my passion. So, blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, when I'm doing it, I hate it. Who's gonna like it when you're knackered? People throwing punches at you when you're knackered, having to run up a hill. But it's part of the job. And then the best part is fight night, you know. But it's not for everyone. Boxing ain't for civilians, man. People think I'm going there.
Hey, I'm gonna do the Mayweather,
go out
Nassim,
and for the camera. Listen, it's so tough.
You get punched here.
So tough. Look,
Mike Tyson
you know
said
the good
it.
old saying. And you know what? You only realize this is true when you're finally in a 50-50 fight. We all have a plan. When you're in the gym and doing pads, everyone's like, yo,
say number one.
Máquina, man. I'm máquina. But then when you get cracked,
Mike Tyson saying,
when you get cracked, bro, everything goes out the window. You become fight or flight then. Like, yo, my life is on the line here, bro. You know, it's a real serious business, and I could not put it into words. You know, when you get cracked on the chin with small gloves. Because people think as well,
it's a 16 ounce.
Yeah, 16 ounce head guard,
yeah.
mouth. When them small gloves, bro.
And a person that knows how to punch as well. And
it hurts. You know, these are registered weapons by law. When you put them 8-ounce gloves on and the fight wraps, your hand is like a stone.
Those are hard, aren't they? When they dry and all the gamemanship that they
don't understand, man. Look, you know, even in the Neto's gym, I can give you a list of names now of fellow classmates and mates within the year who have come up to the gym, trained for 2 weeks. The moment they sparred, they never came back again. Because when you get cracked, oh, this is only sparring. You're like, yo, I don't know if I want to do this, bro.
Or when you get home,
you know, exactly. And look, I'm fresh. You know, I've had a lot of years in the game. Imagine when you get cut, nose is busted. I have a few marks here and there. Your muscles are sore, and you're there on the bed, passed out. So you start thinking, yo, why the hell am I doing this, bro? You know, luckily, I put the work in the gym. I have some God-given talent, so I've never sat after. Don't get me wrong. I've peed blood before, where you think I've never been too bad, where I've been like in a hospital laid out. But look what happened to Eubank Jr. for example. Who's gonna die, bro? You know, it's not for civilians. This game. You know what I mean? It's a tough.
It's not part time. It's not part time.
Oh no. It's more than full time. It's crazy.
Way of life.
Listen, exactly. It's a lifestyle. You can't fight, diet, and then the fight goes out, and you go drinking and eating, blowing up, which is what a lot of fighters do. Let's just not talk about the most recent example of Conor McGregor. Out for 5 years, enjoying life. 20 seconds, knee is gone.
I don't know why he tried to throw that kick at the beginning of the fight. The adrenaline must have got to him.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
This is a lifestyle, man. It's a way of life, and there's a code that you need to stick to if you really want to do something great in the sports.
Toughest environment you fought in, then?
You-
Country, and we'll get to opponents, but at the moment, the environment as a country in a ring.
You know, a lot of people, because obviously I fought in Madison Square Garden, and a lot of people are like, oh, that must have been nerve-wracking. Oh my, it was extremely nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But because it was a childhood dream, I enjoyed it, bro. Don't get me wrong, I was nervous. I was nervous until I got hit. When I got hit, I was like, it's just another fight.
Everything, yeah, it must have.
Pero country, environment, it got to be Mexico, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was saying to GBC and these guys,
Yeah.
I've never been the A side. You know, I fought lesser ability guys in Mexico, but it was still their home country. You know, it wasn't like I was the favorites. You know what I'm saying? If you're fighting a Mexican in Mexico, the fans are not going to go for you. Okay, maybe the guy had a losing record and he was not as able as I was, but it was still in his country. I was still not the A side, you know. And I think it was happened more than once where Mexicans, they're fanatics. They love boxing. And whenever someone fights, his primos, his parents, his grandparents, his neighbors, the whole neighborhood comes out to support.
It's like a Gibraltar thing as well. One of us fights, everyone's there.
So, you know, when I'm walking in and I'm seeing his cousin, Juan, and everyone there supporting, bro, it's nerve-wracking, bro.
I can't imagine.
It's nerve-wracking, bro, you know. And, you know, Mexico, the infrastructure, it's not a nice arena. You know, there's not many health and safety regulations. There's not like a fire exit. You know, that stuff is a little bit back. There's just an ambulance, a ring, some seats. Yeah, time,
Hey,
man.
Mama Leo.
Bro, it's scary, bro. You know,
And like you say, you might not have the ability, but they're going to be tough.
oh, they come into fights, bro.
Nails.
Listen, these guys are gonna. This is why you love Mexicans. They're gonna knock you out or they're gonna get knocked out.
It's okay.
One of the two.
Yeah.
He's gonna come and try his best, and if he catches you, amazing. If he gets caught, I tried, and I like that because it puts on a good fight.
Yeah.
He comes and leaves it all in the ring, bro, and that's what you want as a fighter. That's what you want, a guy to come and leave his heart out and wear his heart on his sleeve, as they say. And that, I would say, is the toughest environment I've been in, man. Country and, you know, environment.
And plus, like you said, the arenas are small, so everyone's near the ring.
you know, Mexican rings are small.
Yeah,
They're
you
famous.
can hear everything serious.
You can hear, vamos, más, pégale, más duro. And I'm like, yo, what is going on here, bro? And you know, Mexicans are famous. You hit him with your best shot, and he nods and carries on coming forward.
See, they won't show you that you've hurt them. It's probably even worse,
Bro,
not for you, because you're
bro,
thinking,
In a
I've given
way,
him everything, no sign, nothing.
you know, if you're mentally weak, it takes your soul in a way, because you train for 6 to 8 weeks on the pads. You know that noise, pa, and then in the fight, you go pa, and the guy goes,
I look straight back.
and you're like, yo, bro, I've seen guys crumble, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen guys crumble in that situation where, you know, for the first round they're looking $1 million, and then they land the big right hand, and then the guy's still coming, and you can see they lose confidence completely in their ability in themselves, you know. This is where your mind needs to be strong, and you need to be able to push through them barriers of, look, I just need to keep chopping at the tree, because look, sooner or later, everyone falls, sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes when you're doing 6 rounds, 4 rounds, it's not enough time to knock someone out. So you need to be content that you're landing the shots and you're going to win the fights. Because you can't knock everyone out, bro. Floyd said this. Some guys, you can't stop them. They're just made of iron. And no matter what you land on them, they're going to keep coming forward, bro. And that's just the nature of the game, you know.
And there's been boxers for, I think, Joe Frazier, famously known for that. I think those guys were like, this guy doesn't stop coming forward. He would come forward.
Most recently, Golovkin,
Golovkin,
Canelo,
all these people like
chin of iron, bro.
Tyson Fury. I bet Deontay Wilder, you saying mentally, his mind must have smashed when Tyson Fury got up.
Like the Undertaker.
Yeah, like the Undertaker.
Crazy, bro.
He must have been like,
Definitely. Look what happened after that fight.
Yeah.
They fought again and Tyson Fury wiped the floor with him.
that must have been a mental thing where you just went.
That's a great observation, because as a fighter, you train for so long, you hit the pads, you hit the bag, you're sparring, and you know, you feel like you trust your skills, no? And then you get into the ring and you land your best shots on these guys, and they're still coming at you. It's a real mind f.
Yeah. Mind fuck on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it really messes with you, bro. And I've had that, and that is part of the experience of boxing. That for me is what put me where I am at today. Is that I've sparred guys, I've landed everything and the kitchen sink on them, and they still come at you, bro. You know, I like to use this saying. There's guys that you throw a 1-2 and you land a 1-2-3 on them. That's how much you hit them, but they still come at you, bro.
So I just want to get from your point. Is the coach then telling you, maybe the coach spots it in your face as well and your attitude, not yours, but I'm saying as a pro boxer. Does the coach say, "Right, carry on, don't worry. Is that encouragement good as well?
It's key.
Right.
It's key. And look, a great fight that people can watch. So understand this is Canelo Golovkin 2.
Okay.
Canelo's coach tells him, wait, no le vas a noquear. Sigue boxeando. You're not going to stop this guy, bro. Keep boxing.
Okay.
And them instructions can change the course of a fight. Because you can lose hope, bro, when you're smashing a guy up for 6 rounds with everything and he's still in front of you. You as a fighter can think to yourself, yo, am I not strong?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just the name of the game, and this is where your corner comes in and tells you, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. You're doing your job. Just stay
That
at
confidence, no, you give
it.
you.
Just stay at it. And that's it. It's like chopping a tree, bro. You can't chop a tree with one axe hit. No, you need to pa, pa, pa. There's only so much a fighter can take. And let me tell you something. There's fighters that can take a lot, but a few fights down the line, they won't be able to take much. And a good example of that is Joe Joyce. Yeah. Don't ever be famous for being the tough guy, bro. Tough guys don't last. Smart ones do.
Get in, get out quickly. So, more personal to you now, what does it mean to fight under the Gibraltar flag and the Moroccan flag at the same time?
Great question. Because a lot of people, online especially, yo, how come you're Gibraltarian? Or how come you're Moroccan? Or this or that. Gibraltar is a very small place. Not many people know about it. No. You know, growing up, population was 30,000. Now it's up to 40. This is a neighborhood, bro. It's a neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, I am obviously of Moroccan descent. Most people in Gibraltar, when you look at their heritage, they're from a different country. You know what I mean? There's no indigenous populace that's from Gibraltar. Unless you're a macaque, you're a monkey. You're not indigenous from this land, bro. Everyone's Spanish, Maltese, Italian, English, Moroccan, you know. So for me, carrying the flag is an honor because I want to show people that such a small place can provide someone who can do something in a sport like boxing, you know. So for me, it's an honor to be the first pro boxer from Gibraltar. It's an absolute pleasure that I come from such a small place and I've fought on some of the biggest stages. And I always make sure to say, you have to put the jib flag on there. If you see when I fought in New York, I always tell them, yo, I want the jib flag there. Yeah. You know, when I have my shorts, I always put the jib and the Moroccan flag. And the Moroccan is the DNA, the jib is my identity. Because I was born and raised, you know, went to Bayside, Sacred Heart, St. Mary's. You know, Gibraltar gave me my life. Gibraltar made me who I am today. So for me, you know, there's no other words, and it's an absolute honor, man, to be representing such a small place where you wouldn't think someone like me could come out, you know, and but you know, here I am, and there's more people coming. So I hope I paved the way for more of us to follow this path, not just in boxing, in any sports.
Yeah. No, great answer. For the advice for the young ones, what would it be then? Not only for boxing, obviously I want the boxing answer for you, but in sports in general as well, 'cause I think we produce quite...
Absolutely, man.
Really
Look,
well, actually,
I think we're now going to the Commonwealth Games. Yeah. That's a step forward, man.
That's a elite level as well.
That's a step forward, man. So that's a great step. Boxing, we're now in the UEFA for football. Yeah. You know, the advice for young sports kids is keep at it, stay disciplined, and, you know, you'll do it. Just keep at it and stay disciplined. Don't go out on a Friday night drinking, you know, enjoying the pleasures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do it here and there, but stick stick on, have discipline at what you do, man. Any sports and any walk of life, with discipline, you can do something.
And that's the same answer that when I interviewed Lester as well from Ringside, he said, I asked him, what was the most important thing for young children joining boxing? He says, discipline.
Discipline is key in everything in life, man.
But boxing, I think, takes it to the nth degree.
Yeah, you need to have, because your life is on the line.
Exactly. Because football, you can have a bad match, but your teammates
10 other players
will cover you. And you're like, shit, I had a bad match, but at least my teammates dug me out. In boxing,
it's a lonely sport, bro. Listen,
there's no one there got to come
you
in
can have
and
the best coaches in the world, and you can have all the fans in the world. Nobody gonna fight for you in that ring. Nobody gonna take the punishment for you in that ring. This is why in boxing you can't leave no stone unturned, man. You need to be fully dedicated, and when you go in that ring, you need to know there's no doubt. And that's what has helped me throughout my career, is that I put everything into my training, so when I step up in that ring, I'm ready for any outcome.
yeah.
Whatever the guy brings, I'm ready for it. And this is what goes back to discipline, you know. If you want to do something in boxing, specifically boxing, you need to be disciplined, man.
For that discipline as well, and when you say you always have to be ready, because it happened to you with Conor Ben, where you like last minute call up.
Yeah.
When you received that phone call, what I want to try and get across is, did you know that it was possible you would get that call, or was it a surprise?
It was completely out of the blue.
So from there, how do you immediately start to get ready for the what if? You get the call for Conor. Do you start watching his videos? Do you start watching this?
Everyone knows Conor Ben.
Yeah.
It's not like I've not seen him fight. He's been in the headlines now for a few years. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, but now as a pro level, one thing is watching him. Yeah, I'm watching him. Obviously, you watch the fights differently to how I would watch it.
Yes.
But when you get that call, does your mindset go straight away? Vamos Leo, venga.
Exactly, yeah. Vamos Leo. That's a great term, because look, I always train, man. It's my life.
Yeah.
You never catch me out of the gym, no matter what's going on. So, in terms of training, the only thing that changed is I stepped up the intensity.
Okay.
You know, because in boxing, you always need to keep a baseline of shape. So, you always need to be in some shape.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
That's my philosophy. Some fighters will only train when they have a fight. I train all the time, and I always keep a baseline shape. And then when I get the call, like for example, Conor Ben, all I had to do was step up the intensity. So, you know, the sparring stepped up a few rounds, the training stepped up a bit more, another notch.
Yeah.
So in terms of training, nothing really changed other than the intensity. In terms of mindset, it's just another fight, bro. I've been on the big stage, bro.
Yeah.
You know, this was obviously a massive stage and a massive undercard. I've been there, bro. I know what it's like. I've had the experience. Obviously, I would have loved to have that fight. I believe I would have done way better than his opponent. But it wasn't meant to be for me, man. But to answer your question, obviously your mindset becomes on the job. Okay, Conor Ben is the target now. What are his weak points?
That's what
we're going to capitalize on.
Yeah.
You have a little chat with your coach. Obviously, at night time before bed, you watch a few of his videos. And that's just the name of the game. You do the same with every opponent, man. Before you sleep, you watch him. When you wake up, you watch him. But you can't look too much into it, because at the end of the day, it's all about you in that ring.
Okay.
It's all about how you train. You can't be obsessed with what he does and then you forget about what you do. A lot of fighters make this mistake, including myself. But this is with experience.
Yeah, you learn.
When you're fighting the top guy, sometimes you become so obsessed at what he does that you forget what you do. And in the ring, you're too focused on, is he going to do what I saw on video? But instead, you can capitalize on what you're able at, man. And, you know, I made that mistake and you learn. So now my focus is always, what can I do? Because at the end of the day, it's about you, man.
Yeah.
And in that ring, it's always about you. And this is why, even when I was fighting Conor Ben, I knew what I was capable of, and that's what was my focus going up to the fight.
So what involves the game plan with that? Obviously, you just said it, that you just focus on yourself. But is it like, okay, he does do jab, hook, and then you start thinking, okay, I'll counter that? Or is it just like my game plan and then...
So when you're fighting at that level, it all becomes teamwork. You know, you as a fighter can only do so much yourself.
Okay.
Boxing, there's too many moving parts at that level, at that world level. that you need a team of guys around you. You need a group of guys who do the other parts. Your focus at that level is to train and be in the best shape possible and have peace in your mind. Your coach and assistant coach and the third coach are the ones in charge of watching Conor Ben and seeing where the holes are that you can capitalize on. Guys at that level, you know, like myself, you already seen everything, not in terms of everything, you've already experienced most of what boxing has. You've been hit with an uppercut and a straight and a hook and a body shot.
Yeah.
You need to be able to capitalize on whatever your corner tells you on the fight. You need to be ready for everything. At that level, you know, you can't have one game plan. You need to have plan A, B, C, D.
Okay.
You need to be able to adjust in real time to whatever changes are going to happen. Because look, you can watch Conor Ben for 2 months, but Conor Ben is a world level fighter where on the fight night he can come and show up and do something completely different. And you need to be able to adjust. And that's what makes a world level fighter. Someone who has enough skills and ability to adjust midway to whatever changes. Someone who can listen to his corner and follow the right instructions.
How difficult is it to hear the corner when you're in the ring with the crowd? Obviously now you have the experience you've learned, but at the beginning, how hard was it?
Listen, that's what separates world level fighters from guys that are up and coming.
Really?
Of course. Because look, you've seen it on Saturday night with some of the locals. They get involved with the crowd. They let their emotions ride them. You know, oh man, it's so important to be able to single out your corner's voice, bro. I was dying to be let off the leash again my last fights.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to. It's just, you know, you need to listen to your corner, bro.
Obviously, all the time telling you, relax.
Calm down.
Okay.
We're not gonna let.
And
off
you
the
were
leash.
hearing that over everything.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look.
That's why I just want to transmit to
Listen,
the public.
You
So
obviously hear everything. I can't cancel out the noise. Whoever says they cancel out the noise, they must have some special abilities because you can hear everything.
okay.
The key is you need to tell yourself in your mind, there's one voice that matters, and that's your corner's voice. You can't listen to the guy shouting, tírale una derecha, pégale al cuerpo, do this. All that is noise. Noise, literally noise.
Yeah.
All you need to listen to is you need to tell yourself in your mind, there's one voice that I need to listen to, and that's my coach's voice. And that's it. It's a thing in your own head. And that's what separates elite guys to everyone else. These guys know how to single out the voice. You know, when you have an arena of 70,000 people, there's a lot of energy in that arena, bro. There's a lot of voices. There's a lot of important people watching. The moment can get to you. And it gets to a lot of people. And that's what makes you elite in your mind, is you need to be able to listen, okay, that's my coach's voice. He's telling me to do this, and that's what I need to do.
Also at the beginning, younger, is it strategic when you're on the other side to your corner that you move around? Maybe that fighters get lost and they have to go near the coach, and as they're coming around, the coach says something, okay, I carry on. Is there that game plan as well sometimes, do you think? Or...
No, I don't think so, because there's no time to think. In the boxing ring, a lot of people think, unless you're Floyd, because Floyd was a special talent, you don't have time to think, bro. Everything is autopilot. All the training you've done over the years, it all becomes reaction time, you know. Everything is, what have you trained for? And your ear automatically listens to, it's always there for your, especially if you've been, that's why they say, stick with the same coach, because you program yourself to listen to that voice.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on in the fight, you can automatically single out, okay, he's telling me to do this, you know, and you just pick it up automatically, bro. There's no need to train yourself, because that voice has been in the corner for so long, you can automatically go, okay, that's him telling me this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no time to think.
Okay.
Trust me. People think, sometimes you waste, you know, boxing is a split-second sport. That split second of you thinking what to do, you get cracked, bro, and it's over.
Yeah.
So everything is autopilot. Everything is the program, the code, you know, how it became, who wrote the code.
Yeah.
That's what it goes down to at world level, is that it's all reaction. It's all what I've trained over the years comes out into play, and okay, if I block this, I'm going to come back with the rights. You don't need the coach to tell you block that and do it. At that level, the coach just tells you, look, you watch the space there, or keep an eye out for this, and then you just do what you've been trained to do.
Beat him to the jab, beat him to this one.
Exactly.
When you've met like Amir Khan, Roy Jones Jr.,
Yeah.
Do you ask them for
Always, bro. That's me.
always learning?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me as a personality. I bombard them with questions because I want to be where they're at or where they've been. I become a bit annoying, to be honest. I'm a bit of a nuisance like that, you know. But listen,
But I think it's normal with anyone.
if you want to learn, bro,
Exactly. If you were to see Messi, Ronaldo, I think of a footballer,
I'd love to ask him.
interrogation.
So for me,
Yeah.
when I met Roy, when I met all of the guys.
Yeah.
I always try and fire as many questions as I can, because usually when you meet him, it's either you're crossing paths,
Okay.
or it's not like a sit down like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
you know. Although with Roy, it was more like a little bit of a sit down and look, and the advice always goes down to the same thing, bro. Yeah. Discipline, you know, and just keep at it. Consistency and discipline is what gets you to the top, man.
But Roy must be different.
Yeah, Roy's
He went
different
all
breed,
the way
bro.
up and then all the way down.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
I'm like, we were talking about weight cutting.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
I don't
Crazy.
know how.
I mean, Roy is a special breed. You can't train to be like Roy. You know, you can't be Roy. You can't be Floyd. These guys are just them one in a million kind of talents where, I mean, who throws a lunging left hook from one side of the ring to the other?
Or hands behind the back and then.
You can't do that, bro. Not everyone can do that.
No, no.
You know, so obviously when I met him, you're a bit starstruck, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So Roy Jones
He's one of
doing it
your
in the
heroes,
flesh, bro.
yeah.
You know, but I always go down. I just treat them like humans because they also don't like it when you blow smoke up their ass. They're just normal guys, bro. They're just like me and you. And you know what? You can get to them better if you just treat them like human beings, because that's what they are. And you know, it was so good. So he was one of the nicest guys ever, man. Roy
Yeah.
Jones Jr., bro. Yeah, amazing dude. And you know, he gave me a lot of tips, a lot of advice. There's a lot of little things
You see?
that they know that people.
Golden nuggets.
Oh man, little nuggets, bro. That it really, you'd never know unless you went through it.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
I can tell you all day, you need to do this, but you're never gonna know it until you go through it.
Okay, if you're not living it or not
And
experiencing
that's
it.
the knowledge that Roy and stuff can drop. You know, little things. You know.
That click for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you're like, wow, how did I? You know, you don't see it.
Yeah.
It's right in front of you. You don't see it, man. Little things like that, man. You know, Amir, Roy, man. I've met so many stars, you know, and yeah, man, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can.
Very grateful. Very grateful. You know, I thank God all the time. Okay, I've had the chance
Yeah.
to speak with these guys, man.
Was it? Who else have you met then that's giving you advice? Not met, like you said, hello, but I've given you like a Roy Jones who's giving you that golden nugget.
Wow. Errol Spence.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of big household names that I've met that have given me time of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Carl Froch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was super nice, super good guy who sat with me. I mean, look, meeting, hi, bye, a few words. I couldn't put a list.
Hundreds, yeah.
But people that I've sat, like, had a few minutes with, well, let's call it what are they called? An elevator interview. Have you heard that in the business term?
Yeah.
People where I've had a few minutes where they've given me some advice. I would say Bivol.
Oh, really?
Dimitri Bivol.
Oh, I like
yeah,
Bivol.
yeah,
I like.
yeah.
Like how he fights on the back foot as well. Is like.
Jaime Munguia.
Okay.
Jaime Munguia.
Yeah.
Mexican.
I've know the name, but
One of the best stars in Mexico. Julio Cesar Chavez. Marquez.
oh yeah.
These guys have given me time of the day. Yeah.
Wow.
Roy Jones Jr., Amir Khan. Man, Amir Khan is one of the nicest people ever, bro. What a
Is he?
nice dude,
Yeah.
bro. What a nice dude, bro. Incredible, man. Who else? That's all I can think of at the moment. Carl Froch, I already mentioned
Yeah.
Carl Froch. That's it, really.
Oh, those are big players. Those are
Yeah,
top
yeah,
stars
Yeah.
to have ever done boxing. How has boxing changed your personality, and also the biggest sacrifice you've made?
Great question, man. Look, boxing has taught me how to respect myself and others. You know, people think, oh, you're a fighter. Oh. I'm like, actually, no, bro. I don't fight at all. I'm not trying to start a fight in the streets, man. You know,
You need to pay me to fight.
not just that. It's not even that mentality. It's just that, you know, like we're really boxers. People think boxers are aggressive outside the ring. I bet you they're some of the nicest people you meet. Because you know when you know you can fight and you can hurt people, you know, and you understand how civilians actually, you can really hurt
Yeah.
a standard civilian.
You know the danger that
Yeah,
we
man.
possess.
You don't want to hurt people, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
In the ring, I'm trying to inflict as much pain, but outside the ring, I'm chilled. I'm laid back, bro. You know. So it's taught me discipline in life, self-respect, and respecting to others. It's taught me how to understand that, you know, how to not judge people according to like money or status, and just see people for who they are, bro. Because look, in boxing, you can never judge a book by its cover. Look at Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, you know.
Yeah.
The fat Mexican boy beat the Greek god. Never judge a book by its cover. So when I look at people, I always try and judge them for who they are. You know, you could drive a Lamborghini or a Toyota Corolla. I don't care. To me, you're
How
a
you
human
treat-
being, and I'm going to judge you depending on who you are as a person, you know.
How you treat.
How you treat others.
Yeah.
That speaks a lot, you know. Obviously, this for me, the biggest, if I were to choose one overarching lesson, it's the discipline of life, man.
Yeah.
You know, boxing is a sport where you need discipline, and if you have discipline in boxing, you have discipline in life, and you can be a good person and do good things in your life if you have discipline.
I like that, man. What motivates you now compared to when you started, and then what goals remain? I already know that what goals remain, but I need to ask you.
Well, look, one of the biggest motivators now for me is obviously my wife, my kids. You know, I'm a dad, and you gotta, you know, being there for my family, showing them that, you know, I can put food on the table, and that's a big motivator. You know, any boxer who's a family will tell you that his kids and wife are a big motivator to their career. And obviously, the other dream of mine is, the other motivator of mine is to live out my dream. You know, I want to be a middle-aged man looking back and say, you know what, I lived life according to my terms. You know, because a lot of people in life, they let life happen to them instead of through them.
Yeah.
You know, they react to life instead of act on life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So for me, them two things I would say are the biggest motivators: my wife and my kids, and more kids to come, hopefully, and the fact that I want to live out what I said I want to live out. You know, I don't want to have regrets, man. And I know that the only way to do that is to live out my dream, bro. And I'm going to do everything and anything that it takes to get to the top, man. And I know that's your next question, as what goals remain.
Yeah.
And what goals remain is to become undisputed, you know, in boxing, and to make my family and myself proud, and all the people that love me and friends and country proud. And I have no doubt I will. I just need to have faith in the timing of God, you know, because sometimes in life we try and force things and we want it to happen our way. But it ain't up to you, bro. You know, it ain't up to you. Trust me, man, I've learned this. It ain't up to you. As much as you want it to, it ain't up to you. You just need to do your job, which is in my case, train, be in shape, and you know, when opportunity, you know how it is, man.
Yeah, yeah.
When the opportunity meets the chance, the training that meets opportunity, you need to be able to take it, man. You know the good old saying, right? The train only comes once.
Exactly, yeah.
And I want to make sure I'm at the station ready to jump on when it comes.
And especially for boxing as well. How does that work though, then, Tarik? Because now you're really experienced, 18 wins, 3 and 1. How does it work then for a title? 'Cause, obviously that's the...
It's all about who you know.
Really?
It's all about who you know. Look, who would have thought un chico de calle comedia is going to fight Conor Ben for life-changing money?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? It's all about who you know. You either need to be an exceptional, one-in-a-lifetime talent, which very few people are, or you need to know the right people.
Okay.
And coming from a small place like Gibraltar, you know, I don't know extremely powerful people that can pave the way for me, but I do believe that the right doors will open themselves when the timing is right. I just need to believe that it'll happen. And I know it'll happen.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. It's all about who you know.
Is that your team or yourself as the fighter need to know?
No, the team. You
Okay.
need to know people who can put you in the right places. It's like life, man. You know this in Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Even in Gibraltar. It's all about who you know. Life is the same. Boxing is the same as life. It's all about who you know.
You need to know someone in matchroom who then talks to Eddie Hearn.
Exactly. Or who speaks to the Turkey Al Sheikh. You know how it is, bro. It's all about who you know.
Ya sabe, Turkey.
It's all about who you know.
Call up
man.
my guy, yeah.
It's all about who you know.
Would coaching interest you then afterwards? I know you don't looking maybe not too far ahead because you're really concentrated on the now, the here and now.
I will let me then decide. The me of
Great
now,
answer.
the me of now, all I can tell you is I'm aiming for the stars, and I've sacrificed. That was something you asked before. What was my biggest sacrifice? Which was leaving everything behind in England to go to Mexico. Bro, I built a life in England. I had a house, my wife, my girlfriend back then, who's now my wife. We didn't have a kid yet. You know, I was, you know, doing well financially. You have a car, you have a bike. You know, in Jib, we have a car, we have a bike, we have a jet ski. You have nice clothes. You have this, friends, go out with. I thought, you know what? That's all going to the side, and I'm going to chase my dream.
That was incredible.
Tijuana, Mexico. You know, I look back at it now, man, and I know why people look at me and think I was crazy, but I'd do it again if I had to.
But look where you are.
I'd do it again if I had to.
Look where you are now because of that decision, man.
I'd do it again if I had to. That's how much boxing, and for all fighters watching, and for all fighters who are at a high level than me, that there's loads. It's all about how much are you willing to sacrifice, bro. You know, sometimes you train and your friends call you, yo, we're going for dinner. You can't go. Kyo, there's a barbecue. You can't go. Kyo, we're gonna go meet. You can't go. It's so hard, bro. Kyo, we're going on a holiday. You can't go. It's so hard, bro. So hard. And sometimes you look back like, yo, is it worth all this? You know what I mean? That's a question that keeps recurring in your mind, bro. Is it worth? Is it worth? Is it worth? Is it worth? But listen, when it's your dream and it's your calling, it is worth it, man.
I think it's important now to point out also the right partner. So your wife, your child now, but when it was a girlfriend, and it is a big part because you see how important has she been.
You know,
because they are the ones that ground you as well.
She knows she's the most important female in my life, and I love her with everything. Bro, I can't put into words how much thanks and gratitude I have for her, because to put up with what I've been through, bro, you gotta be different. She's crazy in her own way. Because to put up with a guy telling you, oh, I'm gonna leave you for I don't know how many months and go to Mexico, it's crazy, bro. Yeah. And then to stay loyal to you, and then to
maintain everything back
come and move with you, bro. Yeah. Bro, she left everything in England, a good job, a life, her friend, to come and live with me in Tijuana. Bro, it's not like we were going to live in Cancun.
Yeah. It wasn't a holiday for 2 weeks.
Tijuana, Mexico, bro.
Wow.
Per capita, it's the second or third where homicides happen, bro. Hearing gunshots became normal for us. Yeah. So, you know, and there's a very good interview on YouTube between Andre Ward and his wife, talking about how important the right woman is in your life. Because I tell you right now, if she wasn't the woman she is now, I wouldn't be the person I am now, bro. Because a woman can make or break you in life. And in boxing the same. There's a lot of fighters who get involved with the wrong women and their career goes down the line. What happens? There's a lot of lawsuits, a lot of, oh, he did this to me, he did that to me. So the right woman plays a big role in your success, not just as a boxer, but as a man in life. Yeah. And again, I couldn't put into words how much I'm grateful to have her in my life, because I don't know what other woman could put up with what kind of guy I am, you know. And you know, we're completely different cultures, completely different religions, beliefs, and you know, love
conquers all,
pushes through all them barriers, bro. You know what I mean? And when you live it and see it, you realize, man, love supersedes every identity and belief you have that's on this earth, you know. And yeah, man, obviously she holds a special place in my heart, you know.
Especially when you come home cranky, grumpy, you haven't eaten well.
That's why I told you, bro, to put up with that, you got to be a special kind of person, bro, because I've put her through the paces, man. I've put her through the paces and she's come out on top. That's how you know you have a special one.
Yeah, 100. Last quick fire round of the podcast now. Favorite boxer of all time, and then favorite current boxer.
Favorite boxer of all time, Marvin Hagler. Why? People tell me, but you fight nothing like Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler lived what I believe in. Hard work and discipline get you to the top. That's why Marvin Hagler is the favorite boxer of all time. Because that guy carried his own back to the gym, had a small entourage, and everything he achieved was down to how hard he trained and how much discipline he had. Favorite current boxer, Terence Buck Crawford.
Crack.
Again, hard work, also talent and mental belief, bro. I always say, the one thing that separates me from most boxers is my mental. And if there's one guy I can tell you who has a mind on a different level to me, and that's Terence Crawford, bro. I've been there, bro. I've spoken to guys at the top.
Yeah.
I know I have the mind.
Okay.
I know I have what it takes in here. But there's one guy that I've yet to get to, and that's Terence Buck Crawford, bro.
What stands out, apart from the mentality, what stood out for you to say, Terence? Or she's retired now,
Mentality.
Yeah?
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
The guy is on a different level in here, bro. I couldn't tell you what it's like because I don't know. If I knew, I would be where he is.
Yeah.
But I just know, I've seen him, I've met him, his aura, his mind is on a different stratosphere, bro. Bro, to go and fight Canelo, the GOATs, you got to be different, man.
Yeah.
You got to be different,
And then he was classed as the underdog. I was like, how can he be classed as the underdog?
Exactly, bro, exactly. And look, he came out on top.
Well, Usyk.
Different animal, but again, Usyk's English ain't too clear, so he hasn't done interviews in depth where he talks about how he thinks.
Yeah.
Where Crawford, yes, you can watch Crawford and see what's going through his mind. Usyk is a different breed. I've never met him. I don't know what he thinks like. But I can see that in his mind is in his own place, but Crawford is the one.
I've seen his training regime of Usyk, the stuff that comes out as well. I think he did like 6 hours swimming.
I've met his cut man, Ross Abner,
Okay.
from Canada, and he goes to me, the guy trains like a robot.
He was like 6 hours in the pool.
Trains like a robot. Trains like a robot.
Only 6 hours in the pool.
Goes back to what? Discipline and hard work, bro. It's very simple.
You give me that one, but now I need to ask you then, Mount Rushmore then. Come on then.
Top 5
Yeah.
of all time and current.
All time, current, whatever you want.
Easy, bro.
Yeah?
You have Marvin Hagler. You have Terence Buck Crawford. You have Andre Ward.
Okay.
You have Floyd Money Mayweather. You can't not put Floyd in there. He was just, his skill and ability and everything was just surreal, man. Like, watching him is like art.
I love
like
watching
art.
Floyd.
And then number 5, I would say, got to be Julio Cesar Chavez, man.
No Muhammad Ali?
Not big. Look, again, this is personal.
No, yeah.
Muhammad
But
Ali,
I love the debate
what Muhammad
now.
Ali did
Yeah.
was change the history of the sport on what he did and how he did and how he acted.
Yeah.
Pero he's from the older generation,
Yeah.
innit? He's from the older generation. For me personally, when you look into boxing, how I look at it, it's got to be them 5. Don't forget, Julio Cesar is a personal one because I met him, innit?
Okay.
Met him, I spoke with
Yeah.
him, I sat with him. Different.
Yeah.
In here is a different. They're on a different level, man.
I think no, it's an incredible list. It's an incredible Mount Rushmore as well. It's just really weird when you hear pro boxing and they never mention Muhammad Ali. So it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Yeah, those are the 5, bro.
To
Those
hear
are the
that.
5 for me, bro.
What do you think with Floyd bringing the 0 into boxing? Do you think it is an actual thing now that boxers don't want to have the loss?
Yes, definitely a thing.
Yeah?
Everyone's trying to protect the O. Everyone's trying to protect
So
the O.
they skip fight because they
Protect
think
the O. Yes.
really?
Look, it's very good for marketing.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic marketing strategy. I'm undefeated. I'm this, I'm that. But it ain't down to that, bro. And the people at the top know it. It's not down to the 0. It's down to how good you are and how many tickets you can sell. That's it.
Asses and seats.
That's
yeah.
it, bro. How many bums you can put on seats. That's all it is. And now with Zuffa boxing and Dana White coming in, the O is going to get completely eliminated. If you're a good fighter and you can bring bums on seats, you're going to be good.
Top guy needs to fight the second
You're
best,
going to
third
do good.
best.
You're going to do good.
But it's really weird because MMA doesn't have that. MMA, they all know it.
There you go. That's going to be coming boxing soon, bro.
They all know it. You can see
become-
the top guys
If
and
you
they have
f-
5
look,
losses.
If you
whatever.
fight, this is why the era of the 4 kings, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. I love that era. Everyone fought everyone. Losses didn't matter as long as you put on a good fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, I've had losses, and my stock only went up after the losses.
You can have a good loss.
All my losses have been great losses. Great, not just good, great.
Yeah.
2 of them are ex-Olympians. One of them is bronze medalist. The last one wasn't really a loss, but bueno, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But people can see I left it all on the line, and I'm a force to be reckoned with. That's a win, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a win. That's why they called me to fight this Conor, because they know he might have a loss,
Yeah,
but he's coming to fight.
this guy's got
He's
skill.
coming on weight. He's coming to win, and he's gonna leave it all on the line. That's what boxing fans want, mate.
There's no noise. The guy comes dedicated and all that. Tarik, thank you so much, my brother.
It's a
Good luck
pleasure,
on in
bro.
the future.
It's a pleasure,
I
bro.
want to see you, yeah.
Listen, it's all God's
mean,
timing, bro.
we
When
will
it's meant
come.
to be, it will be, man.
Thank you very
That's
much.
all I can. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you in the next one.